I'm just wait here for a few moments. I probably don't really need to wait for followers to populate because I'm not going to be taking any questions at this time. So I'll just begin here. So hello, Americans. First I should say if you've ever been falsely arrested and unlawfully imprisoned and charged with violating a state statute, or you found CPS at your door to seize your children, or in any other way have been terrorized by the government, I encourage you to continue watching. My name is Timothy Charles Holmseth. I am a former award-winning news reporter, investigative journalist, and author. I've been interviewed by the FBI regarding information I obtained as a journalist regarding national profile kidnappings, such as Haley Cummings kidnapping case and the Casey Anthony murder trial. I've been interviewed by Fox News. I've been on ABC, CBS, NBC, and such. If you're familiar with me, you may have heard that I am presently being protected while my existing criminal case is monitored at the highest levels in Washington, D.C. and the Pentagon. That is true. In fact, I know that my name has been spoken by a person who is greatly, greatly admired in our country. I'll just say this: I've never been more honored. I am formerly of Polk County, Minnesota. I recently fled Polk County, Minnesota, separated from my family and losing all of my belongings to save my own life after being repeatedly kidnapped by unregistered foreign agents who ordered me kidnapped from my home in the middle of the night, handcuffed me, and locked me in their private for-profit prison. And through various diabolically evil methods, psychologically tortured me. Example, suggesting I may not see my children for a very long time and shutting off all my phone numbers so I could not talk to my legal counsel, while trying to make me sign a confession to fake crimes I did not commit. I'm presently facing trial in Polk County, Minnesota, where I am accused of publishing something that the local government officials did not want me to publish. I am accused of violating a Minnesota state statute. Now, some of you may have heard about the blowout that took place on June 13, 2019 at the Polk County Justice Center in Crookston, Minnesota, during a pretrial hearing where I demanded the prosecutor tell me what jurisdiction and law we are operating under: land, air, or water. He could not and would not answer the question. I had demanded it in writing with notice in advance of the hearing, and the prosecutor never responded. I got him. I was told by federal agents on a task force that the court is secretly operating in Admiralty maritime jurisdiction on land against people of the land, not the high seas, which is capital felony treason. I will be addressing that in future segments of this educational series. I'm making this video, which will be the first in a series, to educate any and all of you innocent Americans that have fallen prey to the predatory judicial system in our country that has been hijacked by unregistered foreign agents called barristers. These criminals are attorneys that are members of the Bar Association, British Accreditation Registry. Many of these bar members use a title of nobility called Esquire. Esquires vow their allegiance to the British crown. These bar members and esquires, through collusion and over time, set up an organized crime apparatus in our country, which operates under the guise of, in my case, Minnesota District Court, that appear to be enforcing the law. This is being done through a well-oiled machine of judges, prosecutors, defense lawyers, as well as police officers, sheriff's deputies, court administration, correctional facility executives and staff, county board members, city council members, and so forth. It goes on and on. Now, you may have noticed that I placed a strong emphasis on the word law. I will explain that in detail in a future video, but will tell you for now that many of these state district courts, such as the 9th District Court in Polk County, Minnesota, does not have jurisdiction over their victims because they are actually an Admiralty Maritime Court, which I stated, and which only applies to the high seas. And because of this, they are required to be registered as foreign agents, but they're not. And they are, in the truest sense of the words, and according to federal agents that have been discussing this in the White House, committing capital felony treason. And rest assured, folks, our president and the Pentagon know it. I'm now going to tell you about a law these prosecutors and judges and esquires are violating. It's a federal law. It's called the Hobbs Act. And I'm going to read you some pieces of the Hobbs Act, and this is taken right off the Department of Justice's website. So you can go there and find this and read it for yourself. I'm just going to read a little bit here. The Hobbs Act prohibits actual or attempted robbery or extortion affecting interstate or foreign commerce in any way or degree. Section 1951 also prescribes conspiracy to commit robbery or extortion without reference to the conspiracy statute at 18 U.S.C. 371. The extortion offenses reach both the obtaining of property, there's a key part, folks, quote, under color of official right, unquote, by public officials, and the obtaining of property by private actors with the victim's, quote, consent, induced by wrongful use of actual or threatened force, violence, or fear, unquote, including fear of economic harm. See this manual at 2405 and Evans versus United States, and it describes the statute there. Only a private individual's extortion of property by the wrongful use of force, violence, or fear requires that the victim's consent be induced by these means. Extortion of property under color of official right does not require that a public official take steps to induce the extortionate payment. Now, you can go to, and it talks about the RICO statute as well, which is racketeering, influence, corrupt organizations. And you can go to the Department of Justice website and read more about the Hobbs Act. But essentially, when public officials, quote, act under color of official right to basically terrorize the hell out of you and steal your money and take your children and take your freedom and take your property, they are violating the Hobbs Act because they don't have jurisdiction over you with their shit made up. Almost everybody has been brainwashed over decades into believing that these administrative bank hearings are constitutional courts. They're not. And I will be explaining in detail in a future video how they managed to pull this off for so long. Rest assured, folks, the Department of Justice and the White House know about this, and they really know about Polk County, Minnesota. Continue to watch for more segments, which I will be publishing. May God bless our brave president, Donald J. Trump. And may a very special blessing be upon the greatest first lady in the history of our country, Melania Trump.